Hello everyone, I'm SamyFuckerBad.net, and today we're going to be talking about modified controllers, hacked controllers, and yeah, this has basically become an extremely popular way of cheating, mostly in online shooters and mostly on consoles, because as we all know, it's extremely hard to actually get the newer generation consoles, such as the PS4 or the Xbox One, hacked and to execute unsigned code, which means that using modified controllers is one of the best ways of actually cheating on those systems at the moment. Now, what are these? What do they do? I'm just going to show you in a video real quick. So, this is Call of Duty 4. It's a game that I know, just so I can make sure that the weapons that they're using aren't by default able to do this. So, essentially, it's generating automated user input. So that means basically you hold down your shooting trigger on a controller, and what the custom electronics will do is just send signals to your Xbox, because that's all a controller really does. It turns your input, your movement, into electronic signals. So this cheating controller, basically this modified controller, just sends, let's say you hold down your trigger and it just sends fully automatic signals. So like 10 signals for trigger pull every second, which a human being it would be really exhausting to do that. So anyways, let's go to the video. Now, this is a Barrett 50 caliber. It's a semi-automatic sniper rifle, but if you're using a modified controller, all you do is you hold down a button and this happens. And it basically fires just, I don't know, 20, 30 rounds per second, and it's extremely quick, and yeah, that is in essence what it does. That's not the only thing that obviously modified controllers can do. There is a whole variety. You can have even recoil compensation. So it's entirely customizable. These things come in hundreds of different varieties. You can obviously even customize how these controllers look. But the most important thing is they allow you to have up to 15, 30 profiles for different games, different weapons, and you can configure them. Even some of those you can connect to a computer and edit all the profiles, what kind of signals they send when you hold down which button. It's actually pretty awesome. So among the features that they usually come with are obviously rapid fire, drop shots, which basically means you're going to crouch and shoot at the same time, which obviously makes you a lot harder to hit, since your hitbox isn't as huge when you're crouched. Then also dolphin diving shots, they're not on this one right here, but that would basically mean you're going prone and shooting at the same time, which in a lot of shooters just reduces your profile from the front to such an extent that it's really hard to lose a firefight when you're doing that. And obviously it will just do that at the push of one button. It will correct for your aim and everything. So that is pretty awesome. Now, another thing, as I've already mentioned, there is recoil compensation, which basically means you can hold down your trigger to shoot a weapon automatically, as you've seen here, for example, but it will correct for recoil after each shot. So if you have a weapon like this, a Desert Eagle in Call of Duty 4, that has huge recoil, it's not activated here, by the way, but it's something that's potentially possible. It's gonna automatically generate user input to correct for the recoil, giving you extreme fire rate without any significant spread. And as you can see, yeah, this is another weapon that I know you can't usually fire that quickly, especially on a normal gamepad or controller for Xbox or PlayStation. So yeah, that's basically what this does. On a computer, you would simply use macros to do that, right? You would either use something like auto hotkey, or you would use your Logitech mouse to install some custom macros to do this kind of stuff. But on obviously consoles, it's a lot harder to install macros and stuff, so this is how you would do it. This is how you would do it, and it's absolutely entirely possible, and I don't see any anti-cheating techniques in the future that will inhibit you from doing so. However, what certain games are doing is limiting the rate at which you can fire semi-automatic weapons, so that stuff that's as incredible as the Barrett 50 caliber, right, just isn't possible. So they're limiting your maximum fire rate. Certain games do that. A lot of them aren't doing it, and even if they're doing it, it just makes it more efficient to use macros to correct for recoil. Anyways, and these controllers are basically made by professionals usually. They have custom electronics in there, and some of them, as I've said, can be programmed by connecting them to a computer so that you can change your settings, your profiles at any time. Some of them are, you have to know all the profiles when you actually order the controller. I would recommend one that you can configure yourself so that you can adjust when a new game comes out and use it that way. Now, just to dispel some myths, modded controllers don't give you wall hacks. Yeah, they don't give you aimbots. They can't help your auto aim, because the problem about those kinds of hacks is that you would have to have a hacked Xbox, a hacked PlayStation, a hacked whatever kind of console you're using. You would have to have root access, admin privileges to inject code into your actual game, to run unsigned code, unsigned processes on your actual gaming console. Okay, so if you call someone a cheater and call them out for using modified controllers, you have to know what to look for. They won't be able to look through walls. If you're seeing something like that, it's more likely to be something like a hacked lobby or something. But generally, that is very, very hard and very, very rare to get on the popular gaming consoles outside of PC, obviously. On computers, that's a whole different story, because by default you are able to install custom software on your computer, which you can't do on a console, right? That is the huge difference. That's why you don't see as many aimbots and ESP hacks and wall hacks on your Xbox or PlayStation or whatnot. So yeah, essentially this is the famed, if you will, plug and play hack in a way for gaming consoles out there, where you just have to connect it to the USB port and it works, because it sends exactly the same signals to your box as a normal controller would. And yeah, at this point it's not getting banned as far as I'm aware. I haven't heard of a single ban due to using this kind of tool-assisted controller. And yeah, it's pretty efficient. Like, if you want to look at some more footage, it's basically able to just make any weapon fire automatically. Like this pistol, that would usually just be a semi-automatic. It fires at a huge fire rate, and some of those scripts can even correct for recoil as well. Or this rifle, I don't know, it's one of those very famous rifles, G something, I don't know. I think like the guard at the White House are using these, semi-automatic by default, but if you're using it with scripts, you can make it fire fully automatically, which is incredibly overpowered, obviously, because usually these weapons are balanced in such a way that they get a lot more power, but they are semi-automatic. Now, obviously, if you're gonna make them automatic, they're gonna be overpowered, which is exactly what these kinds of controllers are essentially doing, okay? Some other functionalities that they have is double tap, triple tap. So you hold down the trigger once, it shoots 2 bullets, sends 2 signals, or 3, or 4 or 5. You can, as I've said, you can configure those. You can configure the delays, the correction for recoil, double tap, triple tap, 4-shot burst, whatever. It's all possible with these controllers. Anyways, guys, if you want to find legitimate cheats for your favorite online games and shooters, head over to hackerbot.net. I hope you've learned something about modified controllers, and I'll see you guys later.